Hi there, it's Simone. I'm so happy you're joining me today for a little Ko-fi update and journal with me. I want to walk you through my process of August art making that I did. It started out with the wish to become more consistent with making art on a daily basis. And so I think I started out with this abstract watercolor in this visual journal from Strathmore. It has 140-pound watercolor paper. And the interesting thing is that a spiral bound journal isn't really that conducive to scanning on a scanner. So I cut those out and then took them out and put them back in. And then I tackled a sketch in here that I meant to start it in June. I still think it's not 100% finished. I would love to go back in with some colored pencils and work on this. Hopefully I'll have time in September. And then I tried my hand at another abstract watercolor. Here I picked a color scheme of, I think, 3 colors. And then when I was done, I felt like there was something missing. So I pulled in a 4th color and went over it after it was dry with this blue. And then I went back in with the pink. And I think with this purplish moon glow. And then I did this architectural sketch. Again, I think this is not finished yet. I think I need to outline more, add some more shadows. But we'll see about that. And then I have one more page in this little teeny tiny sketchbook. And then I'm going to move fully into this one. For Ko-fi, scanning, art making, and for sketching, I will be moving into watercolor sketches. I will be moving into an actual journal with watercolor paper. Because I really liked picking a color palette, I then went back and tried my hand at another abstract. I was really not intimidated, but I didn't really know what I was doing here. Okay, so I had to interrupt for breakfast sessions of my kids. When I was working on these 2 abstracts, let me just mention Susanne Rose Art. That's her YouTube channel, and you will find her on Instagram as well. She's a German artist, is very inspiring in the way that she works on her abstract watercolor art. And so I was trying to emulate that without copying her style. So I watched several videos of her before, and then I thought, I want to try this. And then I went and sat down and tried my hand at it. But I felt like I wasn't really able to achieve what I wanted. And so after these 2, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to make patterns on top of already put down color. I also want to maybe, just learn how to make those abstract watercolors because they look super easy, but they clearly are not. So my idea was to go back and watch more closely what she is doing. And then translate that onto paper, maybe even actually following her abstract one by one. But plus, I also wanted to start creating a pattern library where I would just put down maybe squares of watercolor and then on top of that, try different ways of patterning on top. So the next abstract that I did, I wanted to follow her tutorial, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll just do rectangular shapes and see what happens. So instead of going back to square one where I wanted to follow her more closely, I veered away completely and did something completely different, which was good because I think what I want to do in the coming months is just make more of these, see how the color works with each other. I'm thinking about making just fat stripes. I would love to see how that works. Maybe one with just circles. So I'm really excited for these abstracts. I didn't even know that that was a thing, or that was something that you could get excited about so much, but that's what I did. I really, really loved the color scheme of this abstract. I scanned that in and started working in Procreate. My idea was to make date dots from this. And since I had made circles in July, I decided to go for squares in August. And this was based off this. I made this in a bigger size, so you could use this easily in a Hobonichi Cousin or A5 size journal, bigger journal, and then this one maybe for a traveler's notebook size or smaller. I love using the pencil in Procreate, and I picked a dark purple color to go with this. It looks almost black, but it is not. And then, so that was this. And then I used the same abstract for the days of the week, just in a different way. So you can, I don't even know if you can find same things. I can't, not, at least not, maybe this. I don't know. That's super fun. If you find the same thing, then that's cool. And then, so I was thinking about making something like lettering something on top of that or using an app, but then I found that I actually really like my writing, and people follow me for the art that I make, and so why not use my own handwriting for this? So that's what I did. I made the days of the week in a cursive, or in my cursive. I made the month, August, September, and October in capital letters. And then I made 3 different sizes. So this is suitable for cousin, maybe this in an A6 or so, and then this is probably more for the verticals. Traveler's notebook size, almost. Is there a ruler somewhere around here? We don't know. Oh, this one has a ruler. You can't see, but I can measure and then confirm. Okay, so from here to here it is 1 inch, and then this from here to here is also 1 inch. So this fits the columns of the Traveler's Notebook vertical weekly. All right, so where was I? I loved the color scheme, so I went and used these colors. I then picked out some Prismacolors that I thought would go with it. I had the idea, you saw it on the Printable already, to use the colored pencils for mark making patterns on top of watercolor strips. So what I decided to do was just make these squares so that I could use them in Procreate for labels and stuff. And then I drew on top of here with this Zebra Sarasa, because I realized that it's really hard. I did it here as well, but it's really hard to use watercolor, fine watercolor, and get the detailing that I wanted. So I also, it was also really hard. You can see it here. This was a trial and error thing to get that same details with colored pencils. I mean, I should have known, but I just didn't. So I picked some more pens from my gel pens or other things that I had in my stash. So I went with, I did not use this one and I didn't use this one, but I used the pink Muji gel pen. I used the orange Muji gel pen. These are on these here. And then I used this Zig Clean Color Dot in the color Ocean on top of this teal. And then I used the Zebra Sarasa Green Black. It's a vintage color on here. So the 4 watercolors that I chose for my color palette is Daniel Smith Aussie Red Gold. This is a granulating watercolor. You can't really see, it's not that highly granulating. Then Core Cobalt Teal. This is a granulating color. You can see the green halo right here. And then the Core Green Gold. It's not. And then Daniel Smith Cascade Green. This is one of my favorite colors from Daniel Smith. And this is what it looked like. I wanted to use these washi strips as practice, and then started making strips that are more cohesive and more conform to the width. But then I realized that when I scan this in and when I scan this in, the colors look differently on the different papers. So since I used these as labels, I decided to just use those. And also making marks and making these kinds of pattern takes a lot of time. So that was all I could do, but I really want to go back and see what marks I can do on this. So I made some labels. The habit idea was still in the back of my mind, and so I thought, well, you know, if you want to make habits or art a habit, maybe other people struggle after the summer, just like you do, with getting back into the routine, getting back into these habits that they have established over the last 5 months before summer started and everything went out of whack. So I used this monthly here to give myself a star every time that I would floss. Because that's something that I really want to floss. Because I want to go back when they test when they test how well your things are. Yeah, I need to look up the words for that. I want to actually improve, so I really need to floss more and more consistent. That's the thing. I'm really good, and then I have that appointment in the summer, and I stop like maybe 2 months before that. Not cool. So when I was using those gold stars, I was like, maybe my companions have the same problem. And so I focused on finding out more about habits. I mean, we all know lots about habits. There's a really cool YouTube video that summarizes Atomic Habits by James Clear. I will link that in the description box below. And then I focused on quotes. Maybe I wanted to make some monthlies for habits here. And so the rest of the printable, and then I thought, but since I'm already working, I have these labels, maybe I could use the book pages, because that's what I've been doing lately, and make some shipping labels, because I always need shipping labels, and I love matching my envelopes for the Happy Mail tier to the current theme. So I used the same color scheme and also made some marks around here I really loved doing that. It's very meditative to add these marks on top of this, and this is something that you also can easily do. It's not an art form that I am like I only can do. So the rest of the printable looks like this. I have a full page of shipping labels because I need those. I love using them. And then I have the same items in four different sizes. So this width is, let me check here. Basically, you can see 2.75 inches. I think this would easily fit, or very well fit, in an A6, for instance, as a habit tracker. You could do that here on a page. So I made a monthly with 30 days, a monthly with 31 days. I put down encouraging phrases like small wins are still wins, tiny steps, just reminders that I personally need to hear all the time. I added 2 quotes that really resonated with me. Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. So that's why it's so important to have habits. I added this one because that's also one of those things that with the arting thing, it doesn't come maybe there's some talent, but if you don't practice, you're not going to improve. Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. It's the thing you do to make you good. Meaning also, there's a lot of bad things that you need to create or practice in order to become good at something. And then I put some motivational labels here, like one tiny step at a time. You don't have to make these big steps towards your goal. If you do many, 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 many tiny steps, you will reach your goal at some point. I put down, you can try again tomorrow. Maybe today it didn't work out, but it doesn't mean that you have to scrap the whole thing. You can try again tomorrow. You can begin again. On the same. So these two basically go together. These two go together. It is okay to begin again. And slow growth is still growth. I really love those. I need those reminders all the time. I practiced adding some more of those patterns to these labels because I just, want to practice. Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. And then, so I have them in the bigger size. This is smaller. This is, I think, 2 inches. This is 1.45 something. And then this is the vertical weekly. So you could just print the pages that you need. I put in the empty gaps, the weird empty gaps, I put some of the washi strips that I made. And then the last, so this is the same width as this one, is another one. And then I put these 4 habit trackers. So this is a monthly habit tracker, but maybe you want to put it on a weekly view. So you could track 4 habits like yoga, hydration, going for a walk, and doing art. That would be, or flossing. That would be the big thing for me. I try to experiment with labels in Procreate. So this is with a different opacity. Instead of the white background, this is the other background. It doesn't have the blue outline here. Just some variation on the theme. And then the very last thing that I made is this washi strip sheet. If you're not a virtual companion and you're just interested in one of those, I put this whole set up as a package in my Ko-fi shop. And then I have this in my Ko-fi shop as one item, this as one item in my Ko-fi shop, as well as the shipping labels, because I feel like maybe you don't want any of the other things. So then what did I send to my let me check my thing that I wanted to, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I also put some more digital printables in my shop from previous months as single items. Let me just check what I put so I can show you. So I put this in the shop. These are the outdoor dates. These have like binoculars, a cup, what you would do when you're outdoors and camping. Then I put the circle dates, 2 different sizes. These are also 2 different sizes. I put the circle dates. I put these up as a set of 3 pages. And then I also put the journaling spots right here. I tried printing them on vellum. I saw that at Mitz's. I don't think I have the correct printer settings because it's super juicy. Maybe I would need to print it as a draft, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. This is the real deal. So I have these journaling spots on there as well. If you want to check that out, they're going to be in the description. Links to those are going to be in the description box down below. I do have these houses, these date houses on there as well, just to be completely cohesive. That's all I wanted to share about the digital. These are in the shop as well. Since we're talking about the shop, there's still like 10 or 15 of these left. And then I also have my Tahoe sticker here, this one. I have that one in the shop as well still. And I still have enough. I just need to restock slowly because I don't want to run out and then not be able to maybe send one again if a package is lost. Okay, so shop talk, then Happy Mail. I sent all of my Ko-fi Happy Mail people a sheet of Gold Star stickers so that they would be able to use trackers and give themselves a gold star for every day they showed up. I printed the One Tiny Step at a Time sticker. I actually printed it larger than this, and then my printer ate my sticker sheet, so the only one that I have left is the small one. And I had to hand cut instead of use the die cutting machine, which worked. I also printed these, and then I printed this one as well, but I don't have any of those left. I made exactly 10, and then that's it. On matte clear sticker paper, I only had 1 sheet for testing, but this is what they look like. Isn't that cool? You could print those washi labels all on matte clear sticker paper, and then it would actually look very close to washi. And then I printed some stamps that are September or August related or habit related. So I printed this hug cat because I think everyone who is working on getting back into the routine and into the swing of things feels like a failure when it doesn't work. So I wanted them to send them a big bear cat hug and tell them that they're doing fine and they can try again tomorrow. One step at a time. I'm here. I'm the same. We are all struggling through this, and we're getting better every time we don't give up and work hard or not so hard. We also need to give ourselves some rest. And then I printed these 2 Hobonichi sticker stamps. Not printed, sorry. I stamped these 2 Hobonichi stamps because on September 1st, Hobonichi went on sale. Lots of people order from them, and so I thought maybe you wanted to commemorate what you purchased or the decision that you didn't want to purchase a Hobonichi, so maybe that is useful. And even if it isn't, it still works as a journal sticker. And then I stamped one of those classic-y labels. This one didn't turn out well, so I have one left. A Brandy Kincaid stamp that worked perfectly with the theme, which is awesome work on showing up today. Okay, let's jump into the journal with me part. I had put together everything that I might want to use in my weekly spread into this sticky club folder. I had the idea to maybe do that for every week, but I've veered away from that. Maybe I'll talk about my updated ephemera storage in another video. So I knew I wanted to use the days of the week. I knew I wanted to incorporate the numbers as well, and that washi strip that I had printed for my Happy Mail companions. That they received it on the clear paper. I just didn't have one, so I just cut it out of the printable. And then I pulled out everything that was in that folder thing from Sticky Club, and then I looked at what actually did I want to incorporate. Someone on Instagram asked me recently how I create these pages. What do I do first? Do I lay down stickers or embellishments first? Do I journal first? How am I doing that? And the short answer is it depends. I do a combination of both. I would say it definitely depends on, am I doing this on a daily basis and adding as I go, or am I doing it as a journaling session like I did here at the end of the week as a once all-encompassing journaling session. The only thing that was missing from this week when I'm done with the journaling part is Sunday, because I filmed this on a Saturday. So I left a little bit of space, but I knew most of what I wanted to put on the page. And so contrary to how I would have done that usually, I started out completely different, and I used the days of the week stickers completely different than I normally would. Usually I would cut them apart and put them on each day of the week. But I really loved the label, and it worked well for me that week because I had super long shifts on the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I felt like I never actually even arrived in that week. I just went to work. I was exhausted after. I drove my kids around. I sat on the couch. I stared a bit at some inspiring YouTube videos. Too pooped to do anything else, really. And I felt very ungood, if that makes sense. Not well, just not like myself. And so I grouped all 3 days together because that quote worked for all 3 of them. And then I layered that cat sticker that I made with the stamp right on top of it. I really love layering items on top of each other. I like how that looks. It's my style. It suits my aesthetic. I enjoy when these embellishments touch. For me, that makes them one whole item instead of randomly being put on the page, if that makes sense. And then I actually used that Hobonichi stamp sticker that I made because I thought my Hobonichi story was extremely funny up until maybe 2 days before Hobonichi Day. I didn't even think I was going to order one, but then I really loved the Aurora Duty weeks that I then actually ordered because it just spoke to me. I don't know what it was, but that week's just got me. And so I decided that instead of continuing documenting my ink fountain pen usage in a Nolte efficiency, I would use the Hobonichi weeks for that. The benefit of using a Hobonichi weeks is also that it has tomoe river paper, and that is the paper that I enjoy most when I'm using fountain pens. And so I'm using the same paper as I am using in my journal. I use the weeks to write down every time I use a pen. I just write down what fountain pen it is and what ink is in there, and then that is going on the weekday, whatever day I use it, and then I write on the grid page just a little note, even if I actually have to say anything about the ink and pen combination. So then September 1st was on the Thursday. That was my first day of work that I spent home. So I decided to, was it a Thursday or a Friday? I'm not even sure. It was a Thursday. So I decided to add the September month sticker here, and then use a pencil and write Hello September. I often end up with having this awkward space right there, that column that I'm using right now. I often have things to say about the first 3 days of the week, but not the Thursday. And for some reason, I'm not using the full width of the page. And then I have this awkward gap or column left that if I was going to use it, what is that? Just in the regular layout, not like this vertically, but the other way, horizontally, then, and if I use more than that tiny column space, I would have to write in the gap, and I never like how my writing looks like when I write over there, because usually what happens is that I have a word that is right across the gap, and it just never looks right. So I decided, nope. I am going to document what I did on that Thursday, which was finally unpacking and inking, filming my San Francisco Pen Show haul. Oh, I was looking forward to that day, and I had hoped to be able to do that maybe on the Monday, but I was just too tired and too pooped. And since I hadn't really done anything in quotation marks on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I had 2 full days to indulge in making art, to indulge in filming YouTube videos, and that was just so much fun and so needed after that 3 days of hard work. So, going back to how I create my pages, what do I do first? As you can see, I'm doing both. I'm working on one topic at a time. I'm creating parts of the page. I lay down stickers, then I write. Sometimes I write the title first, then I create around it. Here I just created an embellishment cluster, and then I documented what the embellishment cluster was supposed to mean. That's how I usually roll. So I stuck down the Hobonichi, that little teeny tiny business card thing at the bottom, and I received some happy mail on that Friday, when I think I have received 1 happy mail on Thursday and 2 happy mails, or mail, not happy mail, because one of them wasn't so happy. I had ordered some stickers to add to my Ko-fi shop, but the colors were totally off. So I wrote about that experience, when you think you're receiving stickers with your own art on it, and you're in anticipating that to look just the way you expected, and then you open that package and it doesn't look anything like the file that you sent them. Ugh, that was so disappointing. And so I had to contact customer support, but it was a Friday, so I had to wait until Tuesday because Monday was a holiday. And yeah, so I had to document that disappointment, and I decided to do that underneath that little business card. I am glad to report that I was able to resolve that issue, and I will hopefully have a shop update at the end of the month with more stickers and some other handmade items. I then on Sunday, I reorganized my whole ephemera. I made a little sticker book, and I put that part in that gap that I left, and this is how the completed spread looks like. I hope you enjoyed looking at all the art I made, looking at what I created to make a printable from, what I sent my Ko-fi companions as happy mail, and then how I used my own art in my journal. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. You are the reason why I make those videos. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.